Okay, so today I wanted to talk about the devil's use of distraction in order to diminish the graces received in the reception primarily of the sacraments and in prayer and at the Mass. Okay, so the Mass itself is of infinite value. Jesus cannot be diminished in his value. The sacrifice of the Mass has infinite value no matter whenever it's said with, with the basic degree of validity, it cannot be diminished. So what am I talking about? What can be diminished are the graces received by the faithful during the Mass, because the graces we receive in the reception of the sacraments are not dependent strictly on the value of the sacrament. It's in our reception of it and our preparation, reverence, appreciation, thankfulness. Those are how we receive the graces, and the more graces, the better prepared we are. That's why you should need to prepare for reception of them. So the devil knows this. He's not an idiot. I mean, he knows the spiritual rules. So what he does is a frequent method of his to diminish the graces received in the sacraments is distraction. So how does he do that? Okay, so let me give you an example. Let's say during going to communion, that is the ultimate thing a person can do. And so they want to be as reverent, recollected, prepared as possible, as they possibly can. And then you'll see in some of these parishes, you'll have like an usher at the end of the pew, and people are coming out in there. They're like, glad handing, all this stuff. It's like, they're doing what? They're distracting these people from their preparation. That's not from God. That's from the devil. I mean, these people mean well. They don't understand. That's the problem. It's not just the usher, but the priests that are having them. They don't understand. They think it's just a glad handing, good time, old boy, pat on the back game. That's not what we're talking about. This is real spiritual things at a level that's at a completely different level. Okay, another form of distraction, holding hands at the Our Father. Okay? Yeah, you find me a person who can hold hands with two other people and not be distracted by that physical contact when they're trying to pray to God. It's not possible. You can't do it. It doesn't increase the prayer, it decreases it. And that's why the devil has introduced that. Another thing is just in the basic posture of prayer, the devil has suggested that, the laity should be praying in the orange position that's really suitable for the priest. And that's part of another strategy, which is obscuring the distinction between priests and laity. But at any rate, so why? Isn't that what St. Paul said? He wanted people to be praying with their hands raised? Yes, he did. But there's a distinction there. What he meant is this, and this is something that you experience this yourself. Hopefully you would. Is that when you go to pray and you're properly prepared, your hands go like this. They just go like that. That's the hands raised in prayer. Like when they might have been at your side, they're going to go like this when you go to pray. Watch the EWTN Mass. Look at the servers there. Look at the priests there. Look at most of the people in the chapel. Look at the choir members, especially the men. They're like this. They didn't decide to put their hands like that. Their hands just went like that. That's what St. Paul was talking about he wanted to see. At any rate, so, why is this a distraction? Why? Because you have to decide to do it. Your hands just don't go like that spontaneously. People read about it. Somebody suggested it. Yeah, St. Paul said this, we should raise our hands like that, so let's do that. It's like the holding hands. It was an idea somebody had, yeah? And who was the originator of that idea? Who is the one who wants to diminish the graces received? There are other distractions too, like applause at the end of Mass. Well, what are people applauding? Themselves? I haven't seen a liturgical format that has at the end of it applause. What? Applause is usually at the end of a performance. Is that what it was? A performance somebody gave? So that's another distraction. Then all the talking in church, that shouldn't be going on. It's like, that's why the prophet Zechariah said silence in the presence of the Lord is the only appropriate thing. Somewhere, yeah, the devil he's sowed that cockle into the church, where it started off like in the 1980s, where, well, if you were talking about somebody who was sick in the hospital, that's a work of mercy to be talking, about that. Or later on, it's just morphed into, you're talking about your golf game now. And a lot of people, they don't even try to not talk too loud. Okay? And that's not how it works. There was a pretty famous case around 1900 of a Polish nun. I think her name was Teresa Kowalska or something like that. And she had founded this movement, and it started off with adoration of the Blessed Sacrament and some things like that, which sounds pretty good, to start off with. But it morphed. It morphed into this idea that this was their idea, that whatever you do in front of our Lord in the Blessed Sacrament is thereby blessed by you being there in front of him. It becomes holy no matter what it is you're doing. And that obviously is wrong. It was condemned by the church, and she was excommunicated. Yeah, that group, eventually, those poor nuns were so deceived by the devil, they carried it to its logical conclusion. Whatever you do in front of our Lord, it's okay, it's cool. You're in front of him, therefore it's got to be okay. They ended up, with fornication and having children conceived there. Well, no, that wasn't a holy thing. No, it wasn't. And if you carry it back to its logical beginning, is no, nothing is proper there except adoration of God, and the minimum is silence. Okay? And it's not okay. It's not okay to do. There may be some other things that I'm leaving out, but the preparation for the sacraments requires, reverence, recollection, preparation, above all, the desire to receive the graces. And the devil knows that if he can somehow distract you, get your mind off of it in any way, he's winning a small battle. He may not be totally decreasing what you're getting from that sacrament, but he'll do whatever he can to diminish it. The people should understand where that's coming from.